Okay, this is the fourth part of our discussion about our subject, police organization. So, tapos na tayo sa mga terms na dapat nating malaman in police organization. So, we will proceed to the PNP organizational setup na. So, when we talk about PNP organizational setup, may PNP staffs and support units. So, ang PNP staffs, ito yung mga the Chief of the Philippine National Police. Siyempre, di ba? The Deputy Chief of Philippine National Police for Administration. So, the Deputy Chief of Philippine National Police for Operations. So, gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, may administration at operations talaga ang isang organization. So, may Chief of Directorial Staff. So, 4, di ba? So, ang Chief PNP, ito yung may 4-star na rank. So, ito yung pinakamataas na rank in PNP organization. So, 4-star siya. 4-star general, di ba? So, under naman sa Chief of Directorial Staff, may tinatawag tayong Directorial Staff or yung Functional Staff. Ito yung Directorate for Personnel or Record Management, wherein ang mga personnel dito ng PNP is dito natin makikita yung mga record nila, yung mga yung mga training histories, yung mga records ng eligibilities nila. So, dito, Personal Records Management. So, 2 is Directorate for Intelligence. So, dito natin sila yung nagbubuo ng mga intelligence monitoring at operations, di ba? Ito yung Directorate for Intelligence. Directorate for Operations, then the Directorate for Investigation, di ba? Then, Directorate for Logistics, yung mga supply. So, ito yung logistics. Directorate for Plans, mga plano nila sa PNP. Then, Directorate for Controllership. Usually, itong controllership, ito yung sa mga computer, di ba? Controllership ng PNP organization, di ba? Directorate for Police Community Relations, then Directorate for Human Resources and Doctrine Development. So, yung HR, di ba? Number 10 is Directorate for Research and Development. Ito yung mga directorial staff. Then, may administrative support units tayo. So, ito yung logistics support service or the legal service, the medical and dental services. Then, may computer service tayo. Crime laboratory support service. So, sa SUCO. Then, the engineering service. So, the headquarters support service. Then, the finance service, the communication electronics services, then the chaplain services. So, ang kuha nito is chaplain, hindi to chaplain. So, understandable naman siguro itong mga administrative support units, di ba? So, engineering service, ito yung mga nagbi-build or gumagawa ng mga buildings ng PNP organization. So, yung mga stations nila, yung mga headquarters, so dito sa engineering services. Then, communications, itong mga radio, mga two-way radios nila. So, yung sa communication sa email. So, dito. Chaplain services, hindi ito chaplain ito. Ito natin makita yung mga pare, yung mga imam, diba? So, dito natin makita. So, more on religious and spiritual spiritual service, itong chaplain. Then, the operational support units. May criminal investigation tayo. Then, narcotics command absorbed into the PDEA. So, itong narcotics command na-absorb na sa PDEA. So, may mga may mga drugs, may tinatawag na drugs operation unit. Yung mga stations natin, di ba? Ito yung mga tawag na DEU or Drug Enforcement Units. So, either sa regional ba sila o sa stations. So, na-absorb na ng PDEA. Diba? The traffic management. So, the intelligence, the special action force, the security, civil security force, the maritime, the police community relations, then the aviation security, yung sa airport. Yung sa maritime, yung sa dagat, mga police. So, the ranking system. So, ito yung old na ranking system ng commission officers. Ito yung Director General is equivalent to General sa Army. The Deputy Director General is equivalent to Lieutenant General. The Director, Major General, Chief Superintendent, Brigadier General, Senior Superintendent is equivalent to Colonel sa Army. Then Superintendent, Lieutenant Colonel. Then Chief Inspector is equivalent to Major. Senior Inspector is equivalent to Captain. Then the Inspector is Lieutenant. Ang equivalent nito. Then the NCOs or the non-commissioned officer. Ito yung SPO4 o Senior Police Officer 4. Master Sergeant ang equivalent nito. Then the Senior Police Officer 3, SPO3 is equivalent to Technical Sergeant. Then SPO2 is equivalent to Staff Sergeant ng Army. Then Senior Police Officer 1 is equivalent Sergeant. PO3 or Police Officer 3 is Corporal. Police Officer 2 is Private First Class. Then the Police Officer 1 is Private. So ito yung old na equivalent ng Police to Army. So the cadets of Philippine National Police Academy or the PNPA are classified above sila sa Senior Police Officer 4 and below the Inspector rank in the PNP. So ito yung mga kuha natin, mga cadets sa Philippine National Police Academy. So punta tayo dito sa new ranking system. So do not be confused sa equivalent ng old at ng Army ngayon sa police. Kinuha itong mga terms na ginamit sa ranking system sa Army din. Pero may maliit na pagkakaiba. So as you have seen, the commission officer is magkapareho, di ba? Magkapareho yung kinuha yung terms, di ba? May police lang, di ba? May police general, police lieutenant general, police major general, police brigadier general. So magkapareho lang ito sa equivalent ng Army noon. Lieutenant colonel, police major, police captain, police lieutenant. But in NCO or the non-commissioned officer, yung SPO4 is Police Executive Master Sergeant na, di ba? So may executive na. Then may Police Chief Master Sergeant, SPO3. Police Senior Master Sergeant, SPO2. Then SPO1 is Police Master Sergeant. So yung nung old pa, ang Master Sergeant is equivalent to SPO4. Ngayon na ginamit na ng PNP yung ranking system ng military or army. So halos yung SPO1 to SPO4 is Master Sergeant. May additional na unang terms. Itong Executive Master, Chief Master, Senior Master, and Master Sergeant lang. Then, sa PO3, naging Police Staff Sergeant, di ba? Di ba sa PO3 nung old is equivalency is nasa corporal. Then ngayon ang corporal na ginamit is sa PO2 na. Then yung PO1 is patrolman. So remember this Ito yung bagong ranking system ng PNP. So may fundamental theories of police service naman. So continental at itong home rule theory. So binabalik-balik ito sa board exam, itong mga theories na ito. So in continental theory, the policemen are servants of higher authorities, meaning nagsiserve sila sa higher authorities, diba? And the people have little or no share at all in their duties. So hindi nila iniisip or hindi naka-specified sa goals nila na isi-serve yung people or yung mga civilian, nor any direct connection with them. So ito yung continental theory, diba? Servants of higher authorities. While home rule theory, policemen are considered as servants of the community, diba? Who defend for the effectiveness of their functions upon the express wishes of the people. So sa government natin ngayon under the Constitution, diba? The government is the civilian authority is at all times supreme over the military and the government, diba? Then mas nagsiserve tayo ngayon sa natin sa gobyerno. Siniserve nila yung people. So mas pabor sila sa home rule theory, wherein ang yung sovereignty resides in the people. So as is expressly stated by the Constitution, the Philippines is a democratic and republican state. Then sovereignty resides in the people, and all government authority emanates from them. So ganyan sinusunod natin itong home rule theory ng policemen. So as a police, ito yung representative ng government. So servants of the community. So the concept of police service. So may may old at modern concept. This old the old concept is specified na it means this old philosophy means throwing more people in jail, diba? Rather than keeping them out of jail. So meaning ang yardstick of efficiency nila is the number of arrested suspects. So when the number of arrested suspects is high, so ito yung yardstick of efficiency nila. So ito yung old concept. So sa modern concept, police service today has broadened its activities to include certain aspects of social service for the welfare of the people. So the yardstick of efficiency is the absence of crime. So ito yung kaibahan ng modern concept at old concept. When the old concept, the yardstick of efficiency is arrested suspects. So sa modern concept naman, the absence of crime, meaning more on the prevention of crime or the crime prevention, yung modern concepts. So sa old concepts, more on investigative, di ba? So i-investigate mo yung crime. So kung ma-arrest nila ang suspect, it is their yardstick of efficiency, meaning efficient sila. So the old versus the new. What is traditional policing, di ba? The old system or concept of policing whereby policemen are looked upon as an authority representing the government itself rather than a servant of the community. So ito yung kaibahan ng old traditional policing to, di ba? Here, the police organization is used as protector of the few instead of the many. So, ito yung the reality of traditional policing. So, protector of few lang than many. So, the yardstick of police efficiency and effectiveness. The main traditional purpose of the police is to protect the authority, the government lamang. Hence, the yardstick of measuring police efficiency under this kind of policing is the number of people arrested of crimes. So, mas prefer nila na mas high or mas marami yung arrested person, di ba? Then mailagay nila sa jail. So ito yung yardstick of efficiency ng traditional. The more people arrested and thrown to jail, the more the police organization is effective and efficient. So mas effective sila and efficient daw. So ito yung yardstick of efficiency nila. So comparing the old and new concepts, the political era, the reform era, then the community era. So ito na yung development niya. In the political era, in 1840 to 1930, the police forces were characterized by authority coming from politicians. So coming from politicians yung authority nila. And the law, a broad social service function, decentralized organization, so hindi pa centralized, an intimate relationship with the community, and intensive use of foot patrol. So ito yung political era na wherein yung yardstick of efficiency is nagmo-modernize na, wherein from yung yardstick of efficiency is arrested person, so mas intimate na sila with relationship with the community, di ba? You have intimate relationship with the community na. So the reform era, di ba? The police forces were characterized by authority coming from the law and the professionalism. So nandito na yung professionalism na word. In 1930 to 1980 yan. Crime control as their primary function. So controlling of crimes na, hindi na sila yung sa una na more on re-rely sila sa mga politicians. So a centralized and efficient organization, di ba? Efficient na. Emphasis on preventive motorized patrol and rapid response to crime. So ito yung reform era. Then the community era na, 1980s to present na ngayon. Under this era of policing, police forces are characterized by authority coming from community support, law, and professionalism. So the provisions of broad range of police services including crime control. So more focuses na sila sa crime control and crime prevention. So decentralized organization and intimate relationship with the community and use of problem solving approach. So ginagamitan na ito ng the problem solving approach, wherein if the specific area or the area of responsibility of a certain police station is, ang problema nila is yung mga magnakaw, so may ginagawa na silang paraan, diba, to solve the crime. So traditional versus community policing. A government agency for law enforcement lamang, diba? Community police are the public and the public are the police. So ito yung dito na natin na modernize yung police service, diba? They are more focusing on the they are more focusing on the people. So mas focus na siya sa people rather than the government. So ito yung community. So ito yung kaibahan, di ba? When the community oriented, parang maamo na, di ba? Mas may utak na yung mga police natin, at they are more focusing on the goal nila is yung mas malapit na sila sa mga tao. So ito yung community oriented na policing. So sa traditionalist, ito yun, mga buaya, di ba? Ito yung mga buayang pulis noon una. So dito tayo sa distinction of police management from police administration. So ano yung distinction nila? When we talk about management is personnel administration, as it is the development of people. So more focusing sila sa development of people and not objects. So pag take note mo ito they are more focusing of the development of people. Take note. Then it means getting the cooperation and coordination of human beings so as to obtain effective results with people. It denotes function that directs and guides the activities of the personnel, di ba? Of an organization in the realization of both policies and objectives. While ang administration is that, on the other hand, is the function that determines the basic policies and objectives of an organization, di ba? And the means to be employed to achieve them. So, ang distinction lamang nitong police management and police administration is that management is more focusing on the development of people to achieve, obtain effective results, di ba? Kauban ang ilang mga personnel. While administrations determines the basic policies, may mga basic policies and objectives. More focus siya sa organization and the means employed to achieve them. So, ito yung distinction ng management and administration. So, take note niya na. So, may types of and forms of leadership. So, ito yung ginagamit ng mga police organization natin, di ba? First is itong authoritarian or autocratic, di ba? Then the delegative or laissez-faire. Then the participative leadership or the democratic. So when we talk about authoritarian, from the word itself, di ba? Autocratic. It provides clear expectations for what needs to be done, di ba? When it should be done, then and how it should be done. So there is also a clear division between the leader and the followers. May clear division siya between the leader and the followers. They make decisions independently with little or no input from the rest of the group. So meaning independent siya gumagawa ng decision. So siya lang, di ba? Ito yung autocratic leadership. Gusto niya sa kanya lahat, di ba? Yung decision. Without or no input from the rest of the group, di ba? Authoritarian leadership is best applied to situations where there is little time for group decision making. So mas ma-apply ito kung yung time is maliit lamang time for group decision making, or where the leader is the most knowledgeable. So ang autocratic leadership is ma-apply lamang sa dalawa. Either the leader is the most knowledgeable member of the group kasi siya yung mas magaling, siya yung mas nakikita niya yung mga definite objectives and goals niya na itong mga goals na ito is effective, so magaling siya. Then, ang ikalawa is when there is little time for a group to make a decision. So, dito ma-apply itong autocratic leadership. While itong delegative or laissez-faire offers little or no guidance to group members and leave decisions making up to group members. So, while itong autocratic is ang nagdedesisyon is ang leader lamang, Itong delegative, it is an inverse, di ba? Opposite. No guidance to a group members and leave decision making up to group members lamang. So while this style can be effective in situations where the group members are highly qualified in an area of expertise, so mas effective ito kung sa specific area may expertise ang group member, then it often leads to poorly defined rules and a lack of motivation. So dito ang disadvantage is lack of motivation kasi hindi sila masyadong sinusuportaan ng leader nila. So ito yung delegative. So nagde-delegate lang yung leader, di ba? It's up to the member to make a decision. While ang ikatlo, ito yung participative leadership or democratic. It is generally the most effective leadership style. So ito raw yung pinaka-effective na leadership style. They encourage group members to participate. So may nagpa-participate yung mga group members din, but retain the final say over decision making process to the leader. So ito yung pinaka-effective daw, yung participative leadership. Excuse. So goals and objectives distinguish. So ano yung kaibahan or what is the distinctions between objectives and goals? So when we talk about objectives, these are the specific commitment to achieve a measurable result, meaning may commitment sila, specified siya. Then yung ina-achieve nila is measurable. Yung result na ina-achieve nila is mami-measure within a specific period of time. So ito yung objectives. While goals are general statement, hindi siya specific, more on general siya, di ba? So it is an inverse characteristic sa objectives, more on general statement of intention and typically with time horizon, di ba? May time horizon siya, or it is an achievable in state that can be measured and observed. Making choices about goals is one of the most important aspects of planning. So ito yung pinaka-importanting aspects sa pagpaplano. So ito yung kaibahan ng goals and objectives. So what is the difference between efficiency and effectivity? So itong kaibahan niya. Being efficient means doing things right, while being ineffective means doing the right things. So anong kaiba niya? So palagi natin itong marinig sa lahat ng management principles, di ba? Kung effective ba or efficient. So ano ang distinctions ng effective at efficient? So ito yung distinction niya. Efficient means doing things right. Kung tatagalog natin to, may dalawang noun, di ba? Isang verb, yung doing, meaning ginagawa niya ang work niya ng tama. So dalawang verb, doing things right, di ba? While effective, di ba? Doing the right things, meaning isang verb at isang noun. So ito yung kaibahan niya, di ba? Ginagawa niya ng maayos ang trabaho niya. So ano yung pinakamas kuan dito, di ba? So kayo na ang umusga, di ba? Doing the right things. So itong kaibahan ng efficient and effective. So teka muna. So this is the the end of the part 4. So, in part 5, di-discuss natin ano ba ang kaibahan talaga nitong efficient and effective. So, we will clearly describe ano talaga. So, I will give some examples. Then, we will proceed to personnel management, human resource management.